The combined object given is made of a uniform sheet. This is a combined object where you have a square and a circle. Square of one side d, circle of diameter d. Find the distance to the center of gravity from point x. From point x and its position. Now, by position, I mean, will it be inside the square, the center of gravity, or will it be inside the circle? Okay. So the second part of the question is pretty straightforward because if you compare the square and circle, square has more area, circle has less area. So square is heavier than circle. I hope you all can settle to that. Square is heavier than circle. Therefore, the center of gravity will be closer to the center of the square because now we are dealing with two masses here. We are dealing with two masses here. What are the masses? One is the mass of the square, so I'll mark it here. Mass of the square, and the other one is mass of the circle. So I'll put MC. That's all. MC, right? And the distance between them is going to be D. Distance between them is going to be D. That's it. Why is it D? Because this part is D by 2. Okay, this part is D by 2, and this part is D by 2. So the distance between the masses is D. And MS is bigger than MC. Hope everyone can understand that. That is not a problem because you can compare the square and the circle paper. In the circle, some parts are missing. So it will be inside the square. So I'll mark G somewhere here. Okay, G inside square. Why? Because when you compare the mass, square is heavier than the circle because both are made of the same material, and the side of the square and the diameter of the circle are same, right? So I don't like working inside this because it gets very congested. So I'll take it out and mark them like this: mass of the square, mass of the circle, and the center of gravity will be somewhere here, closer to mass of square. Now the important part, the distances, people. The distances. Now this distance and this distance. If you work with the distances, I will take this distance as x1 and I'll take this distance as x2. We all know the ratio between these two distances will be, I'll write so if you can understand, x1 over x2 will be mass of circle over mass of square. Okay, what is this? Now imagine if you have 3m and 2m like this. Where do you mark the center of gravity? You mark it closer to 3m like this. And let's take this distance as x1 and this distance as x2. Now everyone tell me, what is the ratio between x1 and x2, guys? What is the ratio between x1 and x2? Hurry up. What is the ratio between x1 and x2? What is the ratio between x1 and x2, people? Hurry up. In this. Yeah, good. 2:3. Yeah, how did that come? It's actually 2m is to 3m. 2m over 3m, that we write 2:3. Good. Same thing I have done here. Think of this as mass of the circle. Think of this as mass of the square. x1 of that. Okay, right. So I have done the exact same thing here. Fine. So I need this distance. I need to find out this distance. This x is what we are supposed to find out. This x. Okay. And I know this distance is d by 2. Okay. If I know this length, if I know this x naught or something, I'll take it as x naught. If I subtract that from d by 2, then I have the distance I need. This small distance. Right, before that, let's find out the distances. Before everything, let's compare the masses. Now, mass, this time, it's again equal to area into areal density. Why is that? Because it's a sheet. You can compare the mass using area. So, mass is equal to K into area. Let's take the areal density as K. Right. So, if you start with square, what is the area of the square, people? Area of the square is d square, is it? So I'll put it as kd square. No. Fine. Area of the square is d square. Okay, never mind. D square. Simple as that. Area d into d square. Right. And then we'll move on to the circle. If you take the circle, area, what is the area of a circle, people? It's pi r squared, but careful, we don't have r here. They have given us the diameter. It is pi d by 2 square. Sorry, pi d by 2 square. Therefore, it is pi d squared over 4. Pi d squared over 4. Okay, right. Then what is the mass of the square, people? Mass of the square can be written as kd squared. Mass of the circle can be written as k pi d squared over 4. Hope you guys understood this. All right, fine. That is the distance. That is the mass actually. Area, k into area, k into area. For circle, ms is mass of square, mc is mass of circle. Right, let's get back to this point now. x1 over x2. I have marked x1 and x2 clearly. x1, x2, right? This is center of gravity. This distance is x1. I have taken it as x1. Sorry, this is x1. Right, x1. What is mass of the circle? I have to substitute this. That is k pi d squared over 4 divided by what is the mass of the square? D squared. That's it. Kd squared. That's all. Finally, I will get pi by 4. Pi by 4. Okay, pi is to 4. That is the ratio between x1 and x2. That is the ratio between x1 and x2. All right, that is the ratio between x1 and x2. Okay, fine. So now the ratio just like before, pi is to 4. So this is pi and this is 4. I need to find out x1, people. I need to find out x1. What is the distance between, what is this distance? Tell me quickly, looking at the diagram. What is this distance? What is the distance between ms and mc? From the diagram, tell me, hurry up. What is the distance between ms and, okay, good, very good. Anyone else? Right, so far correct. What is the distance between ms and mc? That is going to be d. Very good. D is the answer. D. All right, D. Okay, now I will write x1. See if you can agree with me, okay, on that. Now x1 and x2, how are they separated? Pi is to 4, total distance is d. Right, x1 is equal to total distance d multiplied by, out of pi and 4, pi for that. Okay. 1 is to 2 means what do you do? 1 plus 2 over 2, something like that. No? Here, pi and 4. So pi plus 4 is to pi. Pi and 4. So pi plus 4 is the total number of parts. Out of that, pi is for x1. So this is the value for x1. x1 is going to be equal to pi d divided by pi plus 4. That is the value of x1. Tell me if you understood how I found x1, people. Tell me quickly. Did you understand how I found x1? Pi 4. So you add pi and 4. Give pi portion to x1. Okay, we are almost there. Then what is the final answer? So nail in the coffin. I'll write this. Distance to center of gravity from x. That is equal to how much? From x, this distance, that is given by d by 2 minus x1. Correct? This is x1, this is x2, d by 2 minus x1. So d by 2 minus, what is x1, guys? Pi d over pi plus 4. Pi d over pi plus 4. Let's simplify it. I think you can take d out. So inside I will be getting half minus pi over pi plus 4. x1 is this, Rushma, x1 is ms, mc. I drew them again, ms and mc. So ms is the mass of the square, mc is the mass of the circle. Center of gravity, I marked it closer to, what do you call that? The center of the square, because it's heavier, right? This distance is x1 and this distance is x2. That is what I have marked here separately. X1, okay. X1 I have to explain again. Okay. Now it's like this now. Let's say, yeah, okay, okay. Let's say this is G, and let's say this is 2. This is 2:3. Okay. This is 2:3. Now this length is X1. This length is X2, right? And the total length is given to you as capital L, something like that. Now, how will you write X1 in terms of L? How will you write X1 in terms of L? You will write X1 is equal to L multiplied by the total amount is 2 plus 3. Out of that, 2 for X1. So that is 2L by 5. 2:3 means total 2 plus 3. Out of 5, 2 for this X1. Here pi and 4 you can't add them. Pi is a different value, 4 is a different. So we leave pi plus, instead of 2 plus 3 we put pi plus 4 and we leave it as it is. Now okay, Rushma? Still confused? Okay, fine. Then you have to simplify this and get the answer, people. You have to simplify this and get the answer. But I think I made a small error in that question. I think they had asked the distance to the center of gravity from the center of the square, if I can remember right. This was the answer in that question, people. Okay, so I will change the question. Sorry about it, because I don't want to go here and waste our time. Because we have done already we have done a lot of work. So I'll change the this thing. Find the distance to the center of gravity from center of the square. We'll do it that way. No, the answers will had pi. It's an MCQ question. Answers were there. Pi was there in the answer. So this is how you have to get the answer from center of square. All the answers, 5 answers had pi and d in it. That's why I asked you to get the answer in pi. Right.